Okay, everybody, welcome to the podcast. Welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about how to qualify clients, how to qualify them. Can they even be a client? And so before you say yes to a new client, make sure that they actually qualify for your business. In this episode, we talk about how to qualify clients before accepting any detailing jobs, contracts, supplying a contract or a quote, or accepting any money from the said client. Not everyone who messages you is the right fit, and professionals know how to screen properly. This video breaks down the process of spotting red flags, filtering out problem clients, and protecting your business reputation and time. So what you'll learn in this episode is how to identify serious and problematic clients, the questions to ask before sending an estimate or a contract, how to recognize discount seekers. That's pretty evident. Non-payment risk. I'm going to give you a few ideas and information. Let's see, why a lack of maintenance is a major red flag, how to present your pricing and boundaries with authority, and why qualifying clients leads to better results and fewer headaches. That's one of the biggest things out there. So this is designed for professional detailers, business owners, and service providers who want to operate at a higher standard, not just take every job that comes along. So that's what this podcast is all about. That's what this episode's about. So let's get straight into this. I'm just going to give you some aspects here. I'm going to give you an overview. Let me go ahead and open this up right here. Make me a little bit smaller here. Business lead qualification is the process of evaluating potential customers to determine if they are a good fit and have a high likelihood of becoming a paying customer. This is achieved by systematically gathering information to assess if the lead has a genuine need for your product or service, the authority to make the purchase, and the budget to afford it, and a timeline for making a decision. Frameworks like BANT, B-A-N-T, budget, authority, need, timing, or CHAMP, challenges, authority, money, prioritization, are commonly used to guide this process, helping sales teams focus their efforts on the most promising opportunities. This also, just for you to know, this is not just for sales teams, but if a person is a solopreneur or an entrepreneur out there by themselves, this is information and it can apply to them as well. So key aspects of lead qualification: assessing the need, determining if the lead, meaning the potential client, let's say someone calls the phone, they call you. Okay, key aspects are lead qualification, assessing the need. Determine if the lead has a problem that your product or service can solve. Ask questions about their challenges, what they've tried before, and what they hope to achieve. This right here, assessing the need. Determine if the lead has a problem that your product or service can solve. Ask questions about their challenges, what they've tried before. This is a big deal. So if someone calls a certain business and they ask, hey, I want to get a ceramic coating for my whatever, my GMC, whatever. I want to get it on my boat. I want to get on my motorcycle. Well, you can ask them, have they ever done it before? Have they ever got a ceramic coating before? That's a good qualifying question. Verify their budget. Find out if the lead has the financial resources to purchase your offering. Okay, this can involve asking about their budget, current spending on a similar solution, or general price range. Okay, so that means if someone is calling, and this goes into asking about maintenance. Maintenance can be a big red flag. It could or couldn't be, but you can ask about it. Have they maintained the project or maintained the asset that they're calling, wanting to get services for? So if someone is calling about getting services on whatever the asset is and whatever the service is, have they maintained it? Have they paid for any maintenance? Can they supply any information of that? Even general information, just talking, just having a conversation with someone can really help out in this kind of situation. Okay? So, and find out, because if they haven't maintained it in 2-3 years, it's probably going to tell you that what you're about to walk into may or may not be what your services are lining up to. So confirm authority. And let's back up. A general price range. Okay. Ask them about their budget. You can ask them, hey, what do you do for a living? Or what kind of income do they have? If it's an individual, what kind of income? What do they do for work? You could find out if they even have the money to pay for this service. If it's a business, you can ask, how much money do you make annually? Have you ever bought services like this before? How much did you spend? This is questions that you can ask, and you can ask for a general price range of what they've normally paid. Confirming authority. Identify if the person you are speaking to has the power to make the purchasing decision, okay? Or if they are an influencer who needs to get approval from others. If the person that you're talking to is either one of these, you're probably not talking to the right person, because if they can't pay the bill and they can't sign off on a service, then why are you talking to them? Define timing. Understand the lead's timeline for making the decision. Are they looking for a short-term fix or a long-term solution? When do they hope to implement the new solution? That means your service or product. When are they looking at getting it? When are they looking at actually having it done? If they're just saying, I'm just price shopping or whatever, that's fine. Give them the price, get off the phone. Don't waste your time with them, because if they're not looking to spend any money, why are you wasting time? Defining your ideal customer, okay? Create specific criteria for your business to help score and rank leads more effectively, okay? Methods and framework, a proper framework that stands for budget, authority, need, and timing, okay? CHAMP, another common framework: challenges, authority, money, and prioritization. Criteria sheet: develop a list of characteristics of your ideal customer and ask targeted questions to assess how well a lead fits. How well does the customer fit? If you have all these questions and you're asking, hey, have you ever got this service before? Do you have the money? When was the last time you spent this kind of money on it? When was the last time you got a service like this or a similar service within that scope? Find out. If they've never done it before, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not a client or a customer. It may just mean that you're the first service and the first business to ever supply a service like that to them. So you need to have an entire list that you ask and that you qualify leads on, and you qualify the client and you qualify the customer with. Curiosity and research. Demonstrate genuine interest by researching the lead's company and industry beforehand. Okay, this goes for if you're doing business with another business, find out about the business. If someone calls you and you own a detailing business, for instance, or a car wash or something like that, and they call and they say, yeah, I have 10 pickup trucks that I want washed, and I want the outsides of them washed and waxed. Well, that's a big job. That's going to take some manpower. That's going to take some time. It's going to take some product. So before you ever do that, do some research on the company. Find out, how much money do they make a year? How much money do they make a year? What kind of industry are they on? And what do they do? Have they, and ask them the same questions. Have they ever got a service like this before? Have they ever, what was their experience? How much did they spend? What is their budget? Things like that. And people are afraid to ask them what budgets are, but hey, you got to ask it eventually, because otherwise, when it's business to business or business to consumer or what have you, whatever the case may be, you got to get paid. You're in business to make money. You're not in business. No business is in business for charity, unless they're an actual charity. But if it's a business, a for-profit business, you're about the money. That's what you're in for. So sales, CRM platforms, tools like Collis helps keep you organize lead information, track conversations, and manage your sales pipeline more effectively. Lead capture forms. Collect essential information directly on your website to start the qualification process early. That's what we do. We actually have our contact form, which is a pre-qualification process. It just lets us know the client profile. Either it's a personal client or, a personal guarantor, a consumer, or if it's a business looking for services or looking for products or what have you. We know a little bit about them. Be strategic about the questions you ask and gather the right context without deterring potential customers. Look, this is information that's out there. This is Salesforce, okay? This is a brand new article. Let's open this up. All right, this is through, Smart Lead. Go ahead and get off of there. All right, so when you're looking at BANT, MEDIC, FAINT, ANIM, see, there's all different kind of acronyms that are used. Efficiency. By qualifying leads, you can focus on efforts and prospects who are more likely to convert. A targeted approach maximizes productivity, ensures resources and used effectively. Improve conversion rates. Qualified leads are more likely to progress through the sales funnel more smoothly. They have already shown interest and are more receptive to your solutions. Okay? You enhance the customer relationship, understand prospects' need better. You can also provide personalized solutions. Yeah. If that's what your business does, then great. Better sales forecasting, increased revenue, ultimately effective lead qualifications leads to increased revenue. Focus on leads with higher potential. You can close deals faster and generate more revenue from your offers. So let's dig into that a little bit. So what I'm about to show you is, let's see, this right here.
This customer didn't pay their bill and they blocked my number. This is what happened. Recently, I received a call to give a quote on pressure washing a very large property located in a very nice area. The customer said that they needed the job done urgently because they were selling their house and they wanted to get it freshly pressure washed before they take pictures. I told the customer that I was very busy, but they said that they would pay me extra if I could fit them in my schedule. After giving this customer their quote, they offered an extra $500 to get on my schedule. So I got very excited and told them yes. However, when I arrived at the customer's house to begin working, there was no one home and there was already a for sale sign in their yard. I started pressure washing the property, and when I finished up, I called the customer to collect payment. When the customer answered, they immediately apologized to me and said that they had gone out of town and forgot to leave me a check, so to give them a call in 1 week to collect payment. The customer never answered, so I drove over and discovered a new family moving in.
Seriously. Now, I want you to think about this. That was a pure textbook example of not qualifying a client, qualifying a customer before ever doing anything with them, before he ever sent a quote or anything. Client qualification. That is a good example. So, let's go down just a little bit more. This is Band in Action Sales Rep. What is your budget for the project management tool? We have allocated $10,000. Who are making the financial decision? I'm making the financial decision, but I need to consult with our CTO. Okay, and then when it gets down to it, economic buyer, who's the person in ultimate authority. So when you start going down, these are just frameworks that you could use. This is just simply just by Googling on Google. So this is just food for thought. This is just to give you some ideas, to be a little bit thought-provoking. And hopefully it'll help you out with your business and lead you to do some research of your own on lead qualifications. There's so much on here, qualified leads, and a lot of information now that's out there. Be sure to like and subscribe. Podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on Exquisite, M-A-D, Exquisite Mad, right here on this channel. So appreciate everybody. Catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.